Cleisthenes' reforms. How did Athens weaken old aristocratic clans and build the framework that made democracy possible? Before Cleisthenes, Athens was more than the city streets around the Acropolis. The Athenian state included Attica, the city, coastal settlements, farming villages, and inland communities. Political life was shaped by powerful aristocratic families and four old tribes connected with ancestry and kinship. That mattered because family networks could turn public offices into private machines. Cleisthenes' reforms begin with that problem. How do you make a wider citizen body matter when elite connections already dominate the rules? Athens had already changed before Cleisthenes. In 594 or 593 BCE, Solon carried out major reforms that reduced debt problems and widened political participation. Those reforms mattered, but they did not erase aristocratic power. Wealthy families still had prestige, followers, and old connections. So Cleisthenes did not appear in a frozen monarchy and instantly invent democracy. He inherited a political world where earlier reforms had opened cracks, but elite families still knew how to control the building. Later, Pisistratus seized power as a tyrant. In ancient Greek usage, a tyrant was someone who took control outside the normal constitutional system. The word did not automatically mean a cruel ruler in the modern sense. After Pisistratus died, his family continued ruling Athens. His son Hippias was finally expelled in 510 BCE. That removal did not immediately create stable democracy. It opened a power struggle among aristocratic politicians, competing to shape Athens after tyranny. After Hippias fell, two elite politicians became central, Isagoras and Cleisthenes. Cleisthenes was not an ordinary farmer leading a simple revolt against rich people. He belonged to the powerful Alcmaeonid family. What made him important was his strategy. In the struggle of 508 and 507 BCE, he turned toward the demes, the citizen people, to defeat aristocratic rivals. An aristocrat used wider citizen support to weaken the old aristocratic game. The surviving evidence is important but imperfect. Herodotus and the Constitution of the Athenians, attributed to Aristotle's school, wrote after the events they describe. That means modern historians often reconstruct details rather than simply watching a recording of the crisis. Still, the main shape is clear enough. Cleisthenes gained support from the demes, challenged the power of old family-based politics, and reorganized the Athenian citizen body in a way ancient Aristotle later called more democratic than Solon's constitution. Imagine a school where student government teams are based on family groups. The Smiths gather cousins and friends. The Joneses do the same. A wealthy family can pull employees, neighbors, and dependents into its side. Even if every student may attend meetings, the same families keep winning because the teams themselves protect their influence. Cleisthenes' basic answer was radical in its simplicity. Make completely new teams and base political identity mainly on where citizens were registered, not on old clan connections. Cleisthenes made the deme the basic building block of Athenian political organization. A deme could be a village, town, or urban neighborhood, and the Cleisthenic system had roughly 139 demes. The point was not just a new label. The deme became the local political community where citizenship was registered and organized. Instead of political identity beginning with an ancient aristocratic clan, it increasingly began with a specific local unit inside Attica. The deme had real administrative importance. Aristotle says Cleisthenes established demarchs, local officials who helped manage deme business. That gave ordinary local communities a formal place in the state's machinery. A citizen did not only belong to a broad, distant Athens, he belonged to a registered local unit with officials and records. This is why the reform was more than symbolic. Cleisthenes connected small communities to central institutions through an organized political ladder. The deme also became central to citizenship. Athenians increasingly used a demotic, the name of a citizen's deme, as part of official identity. A man might be known as Themistocles of Phrygioi, not only as someone's son from an old family. Aristotle connects this practice with Cleisthenes' desire to keep old family divisions from dominating political identity. The reform shifted the question from "Who is your father?" toward "Where are you registered as a citizen?" Next came a clever geographical step. Cleisthenes divided Attica conceptually into three broad zones. The city zone, called the Astai, included Athens and the immediate urban area. The coast, or Paralia, included shoreline communities. The inland, or Mesogia, included farming settlements away from the city and sea. These zones mattered because Athens was not socially uniform. City residents, coastal people, and inland farmers could have different local interests and different aristocratic patrons. Each of the three zones was divided into 10 groups called trittyes, a word related to thirds. That made 10 city trittyes, 10 coastal trittyes, and 10 inland trittyes, for 30 trittyes total. Aristotle's description specifically gives this 3x10 pattern. Think of the tritties as the middle layer between local demes and the new tribes. Cleisthenes was building a structure with carefully counted parts, not making a vague appeal to unity. The most important change was the creation of 10 new tribes, called phyli. Athens had previously used 4 traditional tribes tied to older kinship structures. Cleisthenes did not need to erase people's families to reduce their political power. Instead, he made 10 new tribes politically central. These tribes became the units through which many public responsibilities were organized. The old tribes still existed in social and religious life, but their political importance was deliberately replaced. Here is the key formula. Each new tribe contained 1 city tritties, 1 coastal tritties, and 1 inland tritties. Since there were 10 tritties from each zone, Athens could create 10 mixed tribes. Aristotle says the tritties were distributed so that each tribe contained people from different geographical areas. Cleisthenes did not create a city tribe, a farmer tribe, and a coast tribe. He mixed the deck on purpose. This was powerful because one tribe could include an urban craftsman, a coastal fisherman, a merchant, and an inland farmer. These citizens might live many kilometers apart and have different daily lives, yet the new political system grouped them together. That arrangement made it harder for one local aristocratic family to dominate a whole political unit. Instead of politics simply following neighborhood power, the tribe reached across Attica and created new shared loyalties. Cleisthenes did not announce that rich people could no longer participate. Many aristocrats continued to be important politicians. His attack on aristocratic power was indirect. He changed the rules of the game. If old families had built influence through kinship, neighborhood followers, and inherited tribes, then new demes, tritties, and mixed tribes made those machines harder to operate. The elite still existed, but their old political channels no longer worked as easily. 10 tribes needed identities that felt legitimate. According to Aristotle, a larger list of possible legendary heroes was prepared, and the oracle at Delphi selected the 10 patron heroes. The tribes were Orestes, Ages, Pandionis, Leontes, Achamantes, Oines, Cecropes, Hippothontes, Aeantes, and Antiochus. The names mattered because the reform was not only administrative. Cleisthenes wanted citizens to feel that these mixed tribes were real civic communities. In ancient Athens, political identity and religious identity were not sealed into separate boxes. The new tribes had patron heroes and civic rituals that helped citizens from distant demes imagine themselves as members of one group. A reform that only changed paperwork might have faded quickly. A reform that gave people meetings, offices, honors, heroes, and repeated public roles could reshape habits. Cleisthenes was building new loyalties through the everyday practices of the polis. Cleisthenes did not create 10 tribes just to give citizens attractive labels. The tribes became the machinery through which Athens operated. They were used in politics, government administration, religious identity, and later military organization. This is why historians often describe the reform as a reorganization of the state. The same citizens now met, served, remembered heroes, and eventually fought through new cross-regional units. Political belonging was being rewired at several levels at once. Athens already had a council before Cleisthenes, traditionally connected with Solon's council of 400. Cleisthenes changed that into the council of 500, or boule. The number came directly from the 10 new tribes. Each tribe supplied 50 members, so 10 tribes times 50 members equaled 500 councillors. Aristotle explicitly describes this change. The new tribal structure, therefore, did not remain outside government. It shaped one of the central institutions. The assembly could include many citizens, which made preparation essential. The boule acted like a smaller organizing body. It prepared business for discussion, helped oversee officials, handled administrative work, and kept government moving from day to day. Without such a council, a huge citizen meeting could become chaotic or be easily manipulated. The bull did not replace the assembly. It made large-scale citizen decision-making more workable by organizing what came before the citizen body. The democratic importance of the Council of 500 came from the new path of representation. In simplified form, a citizen belonged to a deme. Demes belonged within trittyes. Trittyes formed mixed tribes. Each tribe supplied 50 council members. That created a line from local community to central government. Over the developed democratic system, demes supplied council members according to quotas, tying small communities directly to the state's central business. It is important not to overstate the reform. The assembly, called the ecclesia, already existed before Cleisthenes. It was the meeting of Athenian male citizens where major public decisions could be discussed and voted upon. Cleisthenes' achievement was not that he invented voting. His achievement was that he reorganized the citizen body and built institutions that made participation more effective. The old meeting now rested on a stronger political structure. Ancient Aristotle later described Cleisthenes' constitution as considerably more democratic than the earlier system associated with Solon. That judgment makes sense if democracy means more than a single vote. Solon had reduced some aristocratic pressures and widened participation. Cleisthenes rebuilt the framework around demes, mixed tribes, and a larger council. Later reformers would push democracy further, but Cleisthenes gave Athens a system through which citizen participation could operate across the whole territory. The 10-tribe system soon mattered militarily as well. Athenians could organize troops according to their tribes, so political and military organization matched one another. In the years after the Cleisthenic reforms, Athens also developed 10 generals, strategoi, associated with the 10 tribes. The effect was unifying. A farmer from inland Attica and a craftsman from the city could share tribal identity in politics, civic religion, and military service. Cleisthenes is traditionally credited with establishing the law of ostracism. Ancient ostracism was not just social exclusion. Citizens wrote names on broken pottery pieces called ostraca. If one extremely powerful politician seemed dangerous to the political system, he could be sent away from Athens for a period of years. The purpose was preventive. Do not wait until someone becomes a tyrant. Remove the dangerously powerful figure before another tyranny can take hold. There is a twist. Cleisthenes' reforms belong around 508 and 507 BCE, but ostracism was apparently not used for about 20 years. The first recorded ostracism came around 488 or 487 BCE. Aristotle identifies Hipparchus, son of Charmis, a man associated with the former tyrannical regime, as the first victim. So the careful version is, Cleisthenes probably established the law, but he did not immediately begin ostracizing his opponents. Aristotle's account indicates that some newly enfranchised citizens may have been included in the reforms, people who had not belonged neatly to the traditional aristocratic clan system. Historians are cautious because the evidence is later and the details are difficult. The safest conclusion is still important. Citizenship now centered on deme registration rather than old clan membership. That made political organization less dependent on aristocratic ancestry, even if every detail of new citizenship remains debated. Cleisthenes did not abolish families, religious brotherhoods, or priesthoods. That would have been an enormous attack on Greek religion and social life. Aristotle specifically says traditional clans, brotherhoods, and priesthoods were allowed to continue. The distinction matters. Cleisthenes did not destroy the old social structure. He built a new political structure over it. Old identities remained, but they were no longer the main machinery of public politics. Central structure is worth memorizing as a ladder. A local citizen was registered in a deme. Demes were grouped into trittyes. 3 trittyes, 1 city, 1 coastal, and 1 inland, formed a tribe. 10 tribes supplied the council of 500 and other public roles. That path connected small villages and neighborhoods to the government of Athens. It also made a citizen's political identity less dependent on ancestry and more dependent on organized public membership. Here's the diagram in words. Attica contained roughly 139 demes. Those demes were organized into 30 trittyes, 10 city, 10 coastal, and 10 inland. One trittyes from each zone combined to make one tribe. 10 tribes resulted. Each tribe supplied 50 members to the Council of 500. If you can reproduce that sequence, you understand the central logic of the reform: local registration, geographical mixing, tribal representation, and central government. Cleisthenes did not create democracy in the modern sense. Political participation remained restricted. Women did not have political voting rights. Enslaved people could not participate as citizens. Resident foreigners, later called metics, were outside the citizen political process. Athenian democracy concerned political equality among eligible male citizens, not every person living in Athens. This limit is essential. The reform was revolutionary inside its own world, but it was not universal democracy. The reforms also did not eliminate wealthy elites, social inequality, slavery, aristocratic families, or every older political institution. Aristocrats continued to compete for influence. Some became major democratic politicians. The difference was that they now had to operate within a changed structure. Power had to move through demes, mixed tribes, councils, assemblies, offices, and public procedures. Cleisthenes weakened old channels of aristocratic influence without pretending that social hierarchy had disappeared. Cleisthenes is often called the father of Athenian democracy because he changed the foundation of political power. Before him, political organization was strongly connected to family, ancestry, and local aristocratic networks. After him, the structure increasingly ran through citizen, deme, tribe, and state. That did not finish democracy, but it made a democratic system possible. The most important change was not a slogan. It was the institutional framework that let citizens participate in organized ways. Think of Athenian democracy as a building. Solon laid some foundations in 594 or 593 BCE. Cleisthenes constructed much of the framework around 508 or 507 BCE. 5th century reformers continued building it. Over time, Athens became an increasingly direct democracy in which eligible male citizens could participate personally rather than simply electing a parliament. Cleisthenes, therefore, did not single-handedly invent democracy. He created the political structure from which classical Athenian democracy developed. The deepest importance of the reforms lies in belonging. Before Cleisthenes, political power might depend heavily on who your father was, what family you came from, and which powerful aristocrat was connected to you. Cleisthenes moved Athens toward different questions. Where are you registered as a citizen? What deme do you belong to? What tribe connects you to the polis? That movement from personal networks toward citizenship and public institutions is why the reforms were revolutionary. The first date to memorize is 594 or 593 BCE. That is when Solon carried out major reforms in Athens. Solon's work reduced debt pressures and widened participation, but aristocratic power remained. This date helps prevent a common mistake. Cleisthenes was not the first person to change Athenian politics. He built on earlier reforms while also solving a different problem: the old family networks that still dominated public life after Solon. The next date is 510 BCE. Hippias, the last Pisistrated tyrant, was expelled from Athens. His removal ended the family's rule but did not settle the constitution. Instead, it created a contest over what kind of political order would follow. That is where Isagoras and Cleisthenes enter the story. The fall of tyranny created the opening, but Cleisthenes' reorganization shaped what Athens did with that opening. The central date is 508 or 507 BCE. In that period, the struggle involving Cleisthenes and Isagoras reached its decisive stage, and Cleisthenes' major reforms began. The 10 tribes, deme and trittyes system, and Council of 500 are associated with this reorganization. When a test asks what Cleisthenes did, answer with structure: demes, trittyes, mixed tribes, and the council that tied the new tribes to government. Another useful date is around 501 or 500 BCE, when the 10-tribe military and general system appears in the developing constitution. This matters because it shows the reform spreading beyond one institution. The same tribal organization that helped shape representation also helped structure military leadership. Athenian citizenship became more coordinated across public life. Politics, administration, civic identity, and defense were increasingly organized through the same 10-tribe framework. Finally, remember 488 or 487 BCE for the first recorded use of ostracism. The law was traditionally attributed to Cleisthenes, but the first known ostracism came later. That distinction helps you answer carefully. Cleisthenes, reforms created tools meant to prevent a return to tyranny, yet the tool of ostracism was not immediately used. Athens was building institutions and then learning how and when to use them. Whole reform can be summarized in one sentence. Around 508 and 507 BCE, Cleisthenes weakened the political power of traditional aristocratic clans by reorganizing Athenian citizens into local demes, 30 trittyes, and 10 geographically mixed tribes. He then used those tribes to organize the 500-member council and other parts of public life. That system created the institutional framework from which Athenian democracy developed. Reforms were effective because they changed routines. Citizens were registered in demes. Tribes supplied counselors. Public identity used demotics and heroic tribal names. Military and civic organization increasingly matched the political map. Those repeated structures made the new order practical. Cleisthenes did not merely defeat one rival in 508 or 507 BCE. He gave Athens a durable way to organize citizens that outlasted the immediate power struggle. Memory lock. Cleisthenes reorganized Athens around 508 and 507 BCE after the tyranny of Hippias and the rivalry with Isagoras. The key change was to weaken old aristocratic family networks by making demes the base of political identity. Roughly 139 demes were grouped into 30 trittyes, 10 city, 10 coastal, and 10 inland. Each new tribe mixed one tritties from each zone, producing 10 tribes. Each tribe supplied 50 members to the council of 500. Cleisthenes did not invent the assembly or modern universal democracy. He built the institutional framework from which Athenian democracy developed. Knowledge check. What was Cleisthenes trying to weaken? Think about it. The answer is the old political power of aristocratic clans and family-based networks. Knowledge check. What was a deme in the reform system? Think about it. The answer is a local citizen community such as a village, town, or neighborhood used for registration and administration. Knowledge check. How were the 10 new tribes mixed? Think about it. The answer is each tribe combined one city tritties, one coastal tritties, and one inland tritties. Knowledge check. How did the Council of 500 connect to the tribes? Think about it. The answer is each of the 10 tribes supplied 50 members, creating a 500-member bool. Knowledge check. Did Cleisthenes invent the assembly? Think about it. The answer is no. The assembly already existed. He reorganized citizens and institutions so participation worked better. Knowledge check. Why call Cleisthenes the father of Athenian democracy? Think about it. The answer is because he built the deme, tribe, and council framework from which classical Athenian democracy developed.